Welcome to the second ever episode of the Beer Review. Once again, I'm Eddie Dudek. With me is...
I am Neal Getling. Today we've got a limited release, Lagunitas Wilco Tango Foxtrot. It's an Imperial Brown Ale. It is 7.85% alcohol by volume, and we are excited to try this. It's got a very interesting rant on the side that's creepy, and ends with "call us" with a phone number, so it's
very
awkward.
creepy, actually. Very creepy. Very creepy.
I'll be in the way. Kids laugh when they're hungry and they know supper's ready. Okay. Thanks, Lagunitas.
So I have to say, I'm really excited to try this because Lagunitas has a lot of really good beers. It's like a little something something is usually a very solid fruity pale ale. I could just go through. I mean, that's just the one that comes to my mind first. But I could go through tons of their beers, and there's so many good ones. So I'm excited for one that I haven't had before.
So the first thing that I saw when I picked this up was that it is Wilco Tango Foxtrot rather than Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and that is apparently a legal protection.
Really?
I guess you can't put whiskey, which would be the normal, NATO alphabet for W. You can't say whiskey on an alcoholic bottle that isn't actually whiskey. So they had to change it to Wilco, which I think is probably...
The more you know.
And I think Wilco's a good substitute.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to think about it at first, like, is it Wilco for real? I thought it was whiskey. Everybody always says Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. But, I think it's close enough and it's fun.
Well, and do you know what we're actually going to call it? The WTF beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So we're trying the WTF Lagunitas beer.
That's mostly the reason why I picked it up.
There you go. Let's give it a try. So it's an Imperial Brown, right?
Yes.
The color is, basically what you'd expect. Maybe a hint more red, but that's splitting hairs.
Yeah, it's kind of malty.
Yeah, looks like you'd expect. The aroma, I have to say, is a little bit hoppier than I expected from a brown.
Sharp.
So they must have, I don't know too much about this one because it was kind of such a random pick. But it definitely must be more of a heavily hopped beer than you would normally expect, especially out of brown.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about it on the bottle. Just that says that it definitely classifies itself as a brown.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cheers. Oh wait, no, I forgot. Wait, gotta redo it. It's very good.
It's good.
It's lighter than I expected.
And it's thinner than I expected.
There you go. The mouthfeel is definitely both light and thin. I mean, there's not... See, I don't know if brown ales are necessarily known for, like, the heavier mouthfeel.
I don't think so.
This is especially thin.
Yeah. It's nice because it's got the full flavor of an actual stout, but, like you mentioned, the mouthfeel is very light. It's almost like a light beer just with actual flavor. It's a huge difference from last week's.
Well, it's a huge difference from last week's.
There's no creaminess whatsoever in this.
This one definitely, you definitely get a weird combination of the malt and the hop. The malt is very prevalent, but it kind of ends with a little bit of the sharp and then sweetness of the hops in a way that I didn't expect.
I like the way it ends with that sweetness. It's very good. It's not as sweet as the milk stout, but it's good on its own, especially for being a brown.
Yeah, this is. I would have to say this is definitely unlike any other brown I've had. I guess the Imperial tag just points to the fact that it's basically 8% alcohol.
Probably, yeah.
Usually, that's what they're just higher alcohol contents. It's actually not what I expected at all. Sorry, inhaled a little bit while talking.
That's not a bad cough.
Yeah, so it's actually very different than we expected out of what would be a brown ale. Malts are less forthcoming than you would usually expect, and the hops are a little bit more. So they're not the overly citrus or bitter hops. They're kind of like they're
just powerful,
spicy almost.
A little bit.
That's not the right word. I think we gotta come up with better adjectives before we record these next time.
It's just very good.
I definitely could see myself drinking a couple of these. I don't know if I'd choose it over a pale ale or IPA, which are typically my go-tos, but it's I would not be upset if I had this.
I would go to this one. the nice thing about it is, if you're drinking to get drunk off of beer, this is gonna do it. I mean, 7.8 is pretty big for a beer, but at the same time, it doesn't feel heavy. It's like I don't feel like if I drank two of them, I would be so bloated or so full. It's not overly carbonated. It's not overly heavy, but it would it's gonna get the job done.
Well, so I think I'm gonna give this one middle of the road. Drinkable.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
I'm a fan of browns in general, and I like the heaviness of flavor.
Okay.
But what's really good about it is it's not gonna just sit in my stomach like a rock for the rest of the night.
Okay, so we're giving this one
1.5.
1.5. All right. Thank you for checking out this week's beer review. Next week we have another limited release. We've already picked it out, so we'll just give you a little teaser. We're going to be trying the Double Daisy Cutter by Chicago's local Half Acre Brewery. Tune in next week. Thank you for watching the beer review.
Thanks much.